Today I took an automated coding test, semi-automated, and failed it. Yeah, it was a pretty hard test, to be honest, especially considering time limitations and the fact that there was like extra stress involved with screen recording and webcam recording as well. Um, yeah, the test also was pretty interesting, I'd say, but 90 minutes was not enough for me to complete it. Yeah, it's just pretty massive, to be honest, to be done in this restricted time. So 1 hour 30 minutes is allowed. Yeah, there's some restrictions of what you can do and cannot do. So you cannot obviously use any coding assistants and AI-based tools. What the hell is this? Okay, get away from me. Okay, it's annoying. Okay, yeah, don't use external libraries, do not visit blogs, articles. So basically you can Google, but the only thing you are allowed to land on is official docs like MDN and like React docs if needed. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, otherwise task is basically to implement this kind of thing. So yeah, when you hover certain elements, you can press this kind of button and it would start playing. Yeah, the playing functionality is already here, but it's not that much about this functionality in this test. So yeah, as for checklist of implementation, so first function is to actually get these playable elements. Not all of them are playable. Yeah, so for example, like there's can be something inside, right? You can't play it. You can only play kind of top level elements, but also with some additional restrictions. Yeah. So and some coordinates, and yeah, there was also one very interesting function to get the height of the first line in a HTML element. Okay, yeah, and this state is exactly as it was given, except I removed company name and yeah. Yeah, so as you can see, there are some function signatures without implementation and some comments on how to implement it. To be fair, like I have experience working with DOM directly, quite extensive one, since I was working at a company where I built kind of web extractor builder, where kind of a lot of ideas are similar. Yeah, but just within this time frame and with this level of stress, it's pretty hard to do all this, to be honest. Was hard for me to focus, at least. Yeah. So I started with this one, get top level readable elements on the page, and here you see this big command. Yeah, there are some restrictions of what we consider top level readable elements. Yeah, first one is very basic, just ignore list, yeah, which I straight away made into set for linear time checks. Then yeah, my first thought was just okay, take top level elements that have text within the body, filter them out like those, ignore list. Yeah, but here again, like this, the element should not be a child of another element that has only one child. which sounds pretty confusing, but yeah, with the example it kind of makes sense. So this is a kind of readable element, so it has text, it's not among the ignore list, and it's the only child inside this div. So we shouldn't consider it, we should consider parent instead, which is the div. And then a top level readable element shouldn't contain another top level readable element, which also kind of makes sense, but it's more in a way how we traverse the DOM. So obviously we can't just take the root children of the body and call it a day. We need to traverse the tree and do all those checks and corrections along the way. So I think this function alone took me like 25 minutes, I'd say, maybe 30 minutes even. Yeah, I guess I could do it faster, but under the pressure it's a bit tough. I will copy my solution straight away and go over it briefly. It's not too interesting. I split it actually into 3 separate functions to be more manageable. Okay, as a very basic one, I renamed it also. The very basic one is this one is readable element. We just check for an element whether it has text and whether it's not in the ignore set. By the way, this one text content is preferable, as I researched later. I probably knew this, but also forgot. Because inner text kind of takes computation, I'd say. Let me just copy the whole thing. It would be easier. And this one is the one that we export and the one that is unit tested. By the way, each function has unit tests here that check it whether it behaves as expected by the this web test. And sometimes it also helps to see what they actually want. As for this traversion, the idea is first of all we take body and start traversing from the body. So we call this function and start traversing the DOM. Get children at that level, filtering by this function, which, as I said, this one is a bit specific. This exactly targets this third condition. The element should not be a child of another element that has only one child. So this way we check back to the parent. So if parent element of this currently considered child has only one child, and obviously this is exactly this child, then we push not the child but the parent element to the output elements array, and keep considering this child further. And since we traverse the DOM tree from the root, it kind of guarantees that we always maintain this rule. So we always have only top level element that has like some nested single child readable elements. Then this one, if it has more than some children, right? So we check this, and if child itself has children, then we traverse again. Pretty simple, just recursion, and otherwise just push the child as this. Yeah, return out elements. Yeah, now that when I look at it, it seems very kind of obvious and probably easy why it took so long. But yeah, under pressure of interview, it's a bit hard to think well. Okay. Yeah, and then this second one, which probably took the most time, is this one: get line height of first line. Yeah, name is very descriptive, and it might lead you into thinking that it's very simple to do, but somehow browsers don't give this kind of functionality out of the box. So first thing, yeah, let me copy how it is in the version. Yeah, you'll get surprised by what you need to do to just get this height. Yeah, this one is very simple and you can skip it. Yeah, this is the basis. Yeah, let's ignore this line for now, but yeah, the basics is we get computed style map from the element itself, which yeah, gives the actual computed styles. Yeah, as we know, CSS is kind of cascading, and we like the actual computed value depends on many things, and also based on some other dimensions, some other settings, like this function allows, like this native function, yeah, allows to get those computed styles as a map from like CSS property name to actual CSS value. So yeah, for example, like yeah, if font size is like 1 EM or 1 rem for simplicity, right? The output here would be in pixels still, which is very convenient. Yeah, rem, as we know, is dependent on the root, but here we get the exact value. So same as for line height, but it's a bit more tricky because yeah, line height can be configured either like relatively to font size. So default one as it appeared is 1.2. So yeah, to get the actual line height, yeah, ignoring all the rest, is just font size multiplied by line height, right? So if it's set as normal in computed styles, we just set it 1.2. Then yeah, this height is the thing I return basically when getting the node text height. Yeah, when it ends with pixels, I just parse it as float number. Yeah, yeah, because yeah, if line height is not relative, then it's just like 20 pixels, 30 pixels, however they set it in CSS. Yeah, else if it ends with a digit, so which means it's just numeric, we yeah, multiply it as I just described. Yeah, this one I did pretty fast, I guess, but yeah, there are caveats as usual. Yeah, line can have inner elements of varied text height and line height or whatever styling inside of it. So even if you look in the test cases, so let's say, okay, let's consider some, this one for example. So line for div, so they checking the div line height with this function. So it has line height of 1, which is yeah, default 16 multiplied by 1, so 16, and inside of it there is a span with 20 pixels of font size and line height of 1, so it's giving 20 pixels height. yeah, so when we check the diff, we need to consider this span. And yeah, so basically we need to consider certain amount of children. Yeah, the simple case is just to, and what I came up with is to get the maximum height of inner nodes, but obviously, yeah, I already knew it wasn't the solution, because yeah, if it's multi-line text and we have different styled elements on each line, or even like there are no elements on the first line, it's just plain text, and then there are some spans or divs, like in here. Yeah, this test failed for me with this implementation. Yeah, then we should consider in this case only actual text. And yeah, we can't really know by like regular means what text is on the first line. Obviously it's not just like line splitting, or like we can't see what is on the first line with just how we expect to. Yeah, so style paragraph here, so they check for the p, right? So for this one, so div doesn't really affect anything, but yeah, for the paragraph we should end up with just 32 instead of this 40. Like this shouldn't affect on anything, because it's just somewhere in the end, not on the first line. Yeah. And yeah, I researched later after already I submitted how this can be done, and how this can be done reliably. So there is this special range functionality in DOM API. So create range. Let me open the docs. Range. Yeah. So I even once I searched for it, and I once read on this, but yeah, I don't think I've used it, just because it's not needed in everyday job very often. Maybe I could have used it in a few places though. Yeah, but it basically, what it does is it creates elements range, nodes range, or whatever. Like yeah, create range is creating a simple range, and you select contents of the elements. So it kind of gives both elements, like the range contains both the nodes, HTML nodes, and their positions and sizes in certain form. So when I like range get client rects, I get the rectangles of each row of each kind of line of this block element, if it is a block element. So the first rect is basically the first line. However, as I checked, this doesn't really give the dimensions they expect. So they expect like actual like 32, like 16, the way they set it up, right? Like the very what would user expect as well. But visually I'm not sure actually. Yeah, but range gives some error with this. It all depends highly on the actual font being used, because some fonts overlap to the bottom, some fonts overlap to the top of the given line height and font size, and this range calculates how it visually is, not how it's set up with CSS. So we need to combine these two approaches, like getting node text height as I described, and this checking the actual range of the first line. So we don't get the actual dimension of that first line just by having this range and bounding client rect. We still need to traverse the DOM here to see what nodes, like either text nodes or like element nodes, within this first line, within this rectangle basically. Yeah. And yeah, here we just check for whether this element we are looping at the moment is within this rectangle of the first line. Then we create this nodes array, nodes in the first line, and already calculate the maximum of this first line nodes, maximum text node height. Yeah, I'm not sure how I could have done it in this amount of time and without being able to properly research. Yeah, I'm not sure who can do it, like unless you really work with ranges all the time maybe, and with this specific functionality. Yeah, and that's not all. Like what I managed to do as well was this hook, but like it took the least amount of time because it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, I knew that I could improve it. I even like started to improve it, but yeah, there is one thing also to talk about here. uh, how you would generally make something dependent on mouse move event. So yeah, as you know, mouse move is triggers pretty often, even more often than animation frames. It's much more often sometimes, yeah, because depending on your computer and some other factors. So you would normally set up an animation frame loop, and on a mouse move event you would not trigger any recalculations or whatever. You would just update some ref, like if it was in React, right? Mouse pause ref, like use ref, like x, y, and basically, yeah, you get the idea. You update the actual ref position, position ref, sorry. Yeah, and then on animation frame you would already check first of all like whether the previous mouse position, like whether the mouse position is updated, like to make early return. If it's not updated, we don't need to recompute anything, and if it is updated, then on request animation frame again, we just do all the mouse position dependent calculations. Yeah, so I didn't have time to do this, so I just tied it to mouse move event. Handle mouse move. What it's supposed to do, I skipped it. To be used to help to render hover player. To render hover player. Yeah, so if we look back to the readme, it's just this hover effect where this button appears, right? So we just need to get the position of this element, of this readable element being hovered. And we cannot also depend on mouse over, mouse out, or whatever, like hover. Why we cannot depend it? Because you cannot hover certain elements which potentially can be considered as readable. Like if, for example, some like absolutely position or fixed position element overlays the element you are targeting, and let's say it has a transparent background, like you can't really see it, but it's there. And you on the DOM, like you would not be able to trigger the hover event, like mouse over, mouse enter, mouse leave, would not work on these underlying elements. So yeah, I've learned it through the job I had recently. So yeah, we had quite interesting cases over there. So we also needed to have some other kind of consideration of filtering elements and also making them hoverable. Yeah, and yeah, that's why I'm using this mouse move instead of like obvious kind of solution to loop through all parsed elements and just add events on mouse enter, mouse leave. Yeah, okay, and here we do very simple logic, just yeah, this one is elements from point. They're also not very often used DOM function. So yeah, it kind of takes this point, xy point, and says what elements array under it, like visually. Here I just intersect like parsed elements with underlying elements, so kind of taking a subset of underlyings that are readable. All right, and just take the first one, and if it's not, then yeah, this one is simple, and just use these functions that are implemented previously. Yeah, and that's pretty much it what I managed to complete within the given time. I think leftovers were mostly UI wise. Yeah, but I haven't even started them. So yeah, this play button, hover player. Yeah, the functionality of playing and this animating of come on, only in readme, like this one. I think it's already here. Yeah, I haven't read much through it, but yeah, the play, yeah, it also creates a range. Yeah, I should have checked here maybe for the range, but yeah, I just forgot how it's even called, the range. Walker, yeah, DOM walker, tree walker. Yeah, also I haven't worked with it much. I mostly use just plain recursion and iteration to walk through the DOM. But yeah, I learned quite a lot during this test task. Also, yeah, highlights is very interesting thing I discovered in this project. So this one is actual DOM level API. It's still well, it's already wide, like limited availability, but quite big support already. I think only Firefox is not properly supporting it. So what it can do is yeah, what it can do is register certain elements and create on the kind of global scope. So CSS global namespace highlights set, and for the certain highlight key, you would register this highlight, where you provide the range, and it gives this exact sorry, yeah, it gives this highlighting effect, because it's a bit complex actually to achieve it without this highlight feature. Yeah, without affecting the layout, and yeah, you wouldn't obviously do it with like after or before elements. You can't even do it normally on the not text node level, and here using the range and highlight, you can do it on text node level, right? On the word level or even on the letter level if you need to. Yeah, very interesting thing. I will probably use it in some of my projects as well. Yeah, so it's native API. It's great. Yeah, and then they have this. Okay, styling. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, I just wanted to share how I failed today. By the way, yes, thank you very sorry, I'm already very tired. Thank you very much, guys, for watching my videos, and I'm really impressed by the amount of views I got for some of them. Yeah, was never expecting this, and it's really pleasant to read all your comments and see reactions. Yeah, thank you very much, and yeah, I hope to continue working on my YouTube, but yeah, I haven't been here for a very long time. Yeah, having some hard times, to be honest. But yeah, thank you very much for your support again. See you.